Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Gretchen, and today I'm back with another Women's Prize for Fiction review, and today is the long-listed title, Ordinary Human Failings by Megan Nolan. Now, I've actually read this book a while ago. I had originally filmed a video for this, and when I went to edit it, I realized I had no sound at all, so sadly, I had to redo a bunch of videos, and this just so happened to be one of them. So it's been a while, but this book is one that still remains really fresh in my memory, and it was a book that I really enjoyed. Now, this book is not about the nicest subject. It's kind of a downer, but it is a really good book. This book follows a family. They're Irish, and they unexpectedly move from Ireland to the London area. And there is a reporter there. His name is Tom, and Tom works for a magazine or a newspaper, I can't remember which, but it's kind of like a tabloid. So there are sensationalized stories, and he's basically always looking for the next big story that's gonna get him some recognition. And he's kind of ambitious, so he doesn't really care or have too much, I guess, sentiment or morality when it comes to getting at the root of his story. Well, one day, there just so happens to be a story that he stumbles upon, which is a family has had their child go missing, their very young child, and then later, after a search, they do sadly end up finding the body of the child. And there is a child that is actually the suspect, and that child just so happens to be the daughter of Carmel, who is part of that family that has moved over from Ireland. So we have this reporter that is really trying, like I said, to get to the root of this story, not a lot of morals, and then he has this family that is kind of an outsider in the community. They are poor, they live in an estate, so they don't have a lot of money. They also are not really well liked or understood by their neighbors. They came over quickly, they don't really talk to a lot of people, they kind of keep to themselves, and there is like a shroud of mystery behind them. So of course, anytime you have situations like that, your neighbors are talking, and it's not always good, pleasant stuff. And then top that with this reporter that is really just trying to make a name for himself with this story. And this book was so good. It was propulsive from the very first page. I was hooked, and the book switches narrator as well. So we're learning about Carmel, we're learning about Tom, we're also learning about the past within Carmel's life, and we're learning about her parents, we're learning about her past relationships, and it is such an interesting story. And although there is a crime and there is a tragedy at the center of it, the beauty of this book is more so in the character development and learning about the lives of all of the players that were involved. And I think what I enjoyed the most about this book is that it takes place in the 90s, so very early. I think it is actually 1990. So that was back in a time where, although, you know, we had media, it was not at our fingertips. It was something that you still had to get in newspaper or magazine form, or you had to wait to see it on the news. And what I kept thinking about as I was reading this book is, if a story like that could get kind of blown up in the early 90s, how would something like this be handled in today's world with our constant access to everything we need or think that we need at our fingertips, with the news and information just constantly being pushed down our throats, and also how sensational the media has become and how quickly a video or a tweet or a text or something can really turn the world on a person in an instant. And all I kept thinking as I was reading this was that this book does such a good job of getting to the root of the motivation for a reporter like this. And the reason that we have reporters that are doing work like this is because we as the public eat it up, and we constantly want to know what's going on in other people's lives. And it may not be our business at all, but we want the dirt, we want the juice. And I'm guilty of that myself, you know, reading some of these stories out there or even following high profile trials. I think of, you know, the Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard trial, like what a spectacle that was, but it had us all engrossed with it. And it was just a really good kind of meditation on how the media is fueled and how information that we are being provided, whether it's true or not, is shaping our opinions of others. And it may be true, but it may be completely wrong. And I just love the way that this book made me think. And I loved the prose. The writing was gorgeous as well. I am really looking forward to reading more from this author. I definitely think that she is a talent, and I was so sad to learn that this book didn't make the shortlist of the prize. However, I will say we already have Claire Kilroy. She is an Irish author. We have Anne Enright. She is an Irish author. I just don't know if there was enough room for Megan Nolan's book in the shortlist with two other Irish women writers in there. But I will say I was not a fan of The Wren. So after reading that book, it made me even more sad that this book did not make it to the shortlist, because I think that this was just a gem of a book. I do highly recommend this. And like I said, it can be a little tough to get through in certain parts because it does involve the death of a child. But if you can get past that part, I think that you will really enjoy this book. So I'm really curious for those that have read this book, what your thoughts or your feelings were. I know that my primary takeaway from this was the media and how easily it is to sensationalize it. And I'm curious to see what your takes on, or what themes and things you took away from this book, if they differed from mine. So yeah, we are getting close to the end of the Women's Prize for this year. There's only a handful of books left that I have to discuss with you, and until we read again, bye.